Dear Diamonds and fellow Diamonds in the Rough, there's a lot of talk about EO right now. Like, obviously, the talk of the streets right now is all about EO and bad take EO, this EO, that EO. Okay, so one thing we can all agree on is the delivery of the message was definitely wrongish. Maybe the terms that were used were very not accurate enough considering the context in which they were used. And that's fair. You know, mistakes happen, that'd be a thing. But I do feel like people had a lot of issues with EO recently because of the ego side of the video and the way he just put it out to be. And fair enough, fair enough. I feel like that was a good learning lesson for EO. We all live to learn. Live, learn, and laugh. That's kind of why we are on this planet. I mean, if you're not doing that, I ask the question, bro, that seems pretty boring in my opinion. But anyway, I've seen a response video, Ioku versus Tectone, and the start of it really caught me off guard where I was like, okay, we have to talk about this because this is a little too strong. So let's look at it real quick.
All right, guys, what's good? This is Sonic Soul here with another video. This time I wanted to talk about something that's happened within the past couple of days. I've been playing a lot of Zenless Zero. I've been playing a lot of it and I've been having a good time. But I've noticed that there's like some drama going on with like this guy called Ioku. And within the Zenless and Gacha community, you know, there's been like some warring or whatever because of the way he's playing the game versus the way that the Gacha frogs are playing the game. You know, to be honest,
we don't have a problem with how he plays the game. The only problem we had is I should be the only motherfucker. I feel like that's kind of the problem in my opinion.
Honest, I'm a fighting game player. That's what I primarily do on my channel.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Doing a lot of the gacha game stuff or variety stuff. Usually when I play those games, I just play, you know, just because I want to. I just play for fun. But when I play seriously and I want to sweat my balls off, I play fighting games, and that's really what I'm good at. That's why a lot of people know me.
When I want to sweat my balls off, go to the gym or get some pussy. That's why you play gacha games, so you don't sit too long and don't sweat your balls off. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Gacha games make giga chads. That's how it goes.
Being that's what I am interested in this type of discussion only because it's like, well, it's a lot of people that just don't know the terminology on these things. And now it's getting to a point where people are like making fun of it and they're like, yo, I've negative edged all over myself. And for me, it's like, as a fighting game player, when I see gacha players make fun of all of these terms that like defined very complex things that we had to do in fighting games that like made or break like certain inputs or certain tactics, it sucks because it's like, I'm a fighting game player. People just make fun of it. You know, it's that one meme where you're like the wallflower in the party. Like, damn, these guys don't know that I play fighting games.
Okay, so let's clear it up real quick. Okay, so negative edging in the Urban Dictionary is used as a joke to point out the ridiculousness of trying to use complicated technical jargon to sound more intelligent. Okay, so what's the big deal? If it is known in the streets like this, so like what's the problem? Why are you sad that, oh, gacha players are making fun of these terms now? Well, they have other meanings, and that's fine. And more specifically, edging. The act of someone holding their orgasm. Hey, look, that's funny. That's just funny. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? I seriously ask, why are you mad?
You know, like, that shit makes me feel bad. I wanted to more or less define.
What do you mean? It's funny. What the fuck? What the fuck you mean? Oh, it makes me feel bad. Why does it make you feel bad, dude?
Find what the heck EOQ is even talking about. Why I don't think it's really good to really like splice these type of terms into gacha games. It's a gacha game, man. You just gotta play, not make it super complicated. I'm gonna just get started with what you said.
I disagree. I like options. I will keep saying that until the day I die. I like options. If I want to try hard in a video game, I can. If I don't want to, I don't want to. Yes, these games don't encourage you trying hard, which is the whole point of these games. These games are supposed to be relaxing games. It's just a fun, good time. But bruh, like seriously, bruh, if I want to, I can go to EO's channel, watch that shit, and if I can try hard, and I can do these complicated combos if I want to. I'm not forced to, but I have that option. EO offers me that option. What's the big deal? What's the problem? Why do you care how I play? I want to play it like EO, for example. What's the big deal? Yeah, we also had Red New that said a similar thing as what I'm about to say, which is you just EO is throwing these terms in the gacha game community to make the gacha game community go to a place where it's his forte, which is very intelligent to do. That's very smart, if in my opinion. It just the delivery was bad, and people, because of the nature of gacha gamers, it was poorly received because it's like, there's like that ego way of that's kind of the way you gotta play, bitch. It's like you trash if you don't play like this. Even though he says like disclaimer, you can still play the water how you want, but there's always that underlying tone of like, yeah, you kind of gotta play it like this, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So he's selling you a little something, which is what a creator should be doing anyway. So I feel like personally, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what EO did. Maybe the delivery was bad, but in its spirit, it's fine.
On the screen right now, this is EO. And Mr. Pokey or whatever, this guy is one of the gacha people that play Wuwa, Genshin, etc. Right? And there's this like war or whatever with Ioku because he was finding all this tech in Wuthering Waves and in Genshin Impact and now Zenless Zero. Right? You would think it's from a fighting game, right? The way he's phrasing it is like he's trying to use fighting game terminology to describe what he's doing. This video, I'm not gonna play the whole 1 hour, etc. of it because this is a long reaction video to a video that's now privated. And personally, I don't think Ioku should have privated this video. He should have just left it the way it was.
True.
Right now, like, there's a lot of people that are still like talking about this video, myself included. There's other videos that I want to go over, mainly the Gacha Cast unedited and the unlock new combos, Wuthering Waves, combat changes everything. These two videos are gonna kind of go over like what I think.
We're going all the way back to a Gacha Cast. What the fuck?
Impressions of Ioku's responses here. Ioku is on this like podcast. He's like the fighting game representative of the gacha community from what they have. I'm surprised Lakari is not that. Shout out to Lakari. But regardless,
I think I heard of this guy.
And one person mentions the idea of a fighting game versus a gacha game. I don't know who this guy is on the left, but he makes a decent point, right?
Show some respect to my boy's name. Show some damn respect.
So me, myself, I am also a fighting game player, I know.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah, dude. Huh? Yeah, just started yesterday, I know, man. Because I did read your tweets a little bit, and this seemed
like I played some Mortal Kombat, and I was kind of try hard at Mortal Kombat. Does that make me a fighting game player? I played some Dragon Ball Tenkaichi back when I was a kid. Does that make me a fighting game player, chat? I play Zenless Zone Zero. Does that make me a fighting game?
You're like comparing Zenless Zone Zero and fighting games pretty closely, and I can't really find too much of a comparison, like, because even though they do have, I guess, like combos and you can like juggle and stuff like that, the difference is very big because on Zenless it's a single player game. You're just like juggling an NPC, whereas in fighting games you get to like land them against actual players, and that feels 10 times more rewarding. Whereas in Zenless Zone Zero, when you land it on like a, I guess, like an NPC, it's like the same level as like landing on like a training NPC or like a training dummy in
yeah, that's a good point from Box. That's very true. There is a certain satisfaction in playing PvP and being good PvP more so than you are, playing against NPCs, because, you still get that validation of, oh, I'm better than you type shit, which is why a lot of people that are tryhards in this come off as having a small dick energy having motherfuckers, because why do you need that validation in a fucking video game? That doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, it is what it is. Get bitches. I don't know.
A soccer ball.
Yeah, I see. In a fighting game, when you fight against another person, in anything competitive, landing that hit on somebody, you earn that hit because you had to outplay your opponent, and your opponent needed to make a mistake for you to get that hit in the first place. Prime example.
But what if my opponent is playing the unfair character? It's like, it reminds me of Mortal Kombat and Johnny Cage. Like MK9. Like Johnny Cage was so OP. My brother would play Johnny Cage. He just had an unfair advantage. Some characters are just built different. It's weird to me.
When it comes to fighting,
some things are unfair in fighting games.
Fight. Both players do not have the initial advantage on hit, on block, etc. Both players are further away, and they have to figure out how to hit the other person.
Yeah, that is true.
By Infilament goes through this concept, and they even go over like footsies, which is the important.
I love footsies. I love footsies. I used to like down 4 with Scorpion and MKX. I love footsies. Like it was so satisfying. That's why I loved Inferno Scorpion in MKX because I could do so much footsies. That was my play style. It was footsies. I love that shit.
Of playing neutral game and how people vie for space. They fight
Yeah,
for space.
yeah.
So they have an example here that you can scroll down and you can see what neutral looks like, right? It's 2 players kind of like whiffing buttons in and out of ranges, and somebody whiffs a button that they
Yeah,
shouldn't,
so this bitch made a mistake here.
and they get whiff punished. So in this case,
Yeah.
she did forward heavy kick, right? She did forward heavy kick.
As
This is a
this is called recovery frame,
completely different button.
is where he
But it's
caught
all
her.
in the same range, right?
See this? She went for the attack.
On later frames, you can punish this, right?
Yeah, they're called recovery frames, and in recovery frames is where you can punish. That's why sometimes you just do 1-2s or just a 1 and then you block, or else you'll get punished. When you go for a move in a fighting game, frames and how much frames it takes is very important. Some moves just can't be punished. I think for Scorpion it was 1-2-4. Yeah, you just go 1-2-4, bam, bam, and then he kicks. Because that kick creates a certain space, unless the opponent dodges it, if they're blocking it, you can't get punished. And that was very important in Mortal Kombat for me.
So the Chun-Li player made the mistake of doing that long button.
Yeah,
and
you
not-
see, even she was like, which means she's caught lacking. Like that's she's recovering, animation recovery.
hit by Ken's low button. There's Daigo and Alex Valle, right? They're both playing. He gets whiff punished by Daigo. He does low forward, crouching medium kick,
Yeah.
and the sweep. Punk versus Tokido, right? Counter poke with standing heavy punch.
Bro, Akuma looks like he's doing squats. Is it just me? Bro is like, he's like, bro, he's squatting down. He's like, I don't see no bitch bending over down here, bro. Like, why do you keep going up and down like you pumping? Like, what the fuck?
You see, he whiffs that big heavy kick, and then Tokido does the dash up and the jab, right? And that was a whiff punish. Even in other games, you see how like there's a lot of mobility in the air,
Yeah.
or even in grounded games. You know, it's all based on you playing versus the opponent.
Yeah.
That's what the neutral game is.
Yes.
There is no like neutral game in a gacha game in like Wuwa or Zenless, or there is no neutral game. What are you gonna play neutral with a fucking robot? Like, you're not doing that.
I just want to do cool shit. That's it. I just want to do cool shit. I think that's what EO is trying to say. It's like, you can do cool shit. It was, again, just poorly written and poorly said. And that's just the way it is.
Instead, you just attack. Like, you know that the CPU is just gonna stand there. 9 times out of 10, you are just gonna attack.
That's why I like Wuthering Waves. In Hoyoverse games, yeah, they stand there. In Wuwa, they kind of move around.
Going to adapt in real time. And 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna hit your buttons and attack. The more your stats are built up in a gacha game, the more incentive it is for you to just wail on whatever it is that's in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna deal enough damage to just plow through them.
You can't do that shit in holograms, though. You can't do that. Thundering Mephis will one-shot your ass if you just keep blindly attacking like a dumbass.
bosses and some enemies are just straight damage checks. So that's like the
Yeah.
neutral, right? And that's
In
what
Hoyo games, for sure.
Guy is saying is that like, you know, the reward is that you hit an opponent, whereas
Yeah.
in a gacha game, you're not really doing that.
Yeah.
So let me add into that real quick with the juggling part, right? Are we all familiar with Tekken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No? All right. So Tekken is the game where I don't want my opponent to play the game. It's literally don't let your opponent play the game. That's really what it is.
Ioku responds with the whole Tekken is a game where you don't want the other person to play. Tekken is a fighting game where you don't want the other person to play. Knowing what fighting games are and what I just explained to you and what the other guy explained to you, that is inherently false because
That's not false. Am I crazy? That's not false. That is not false. No, the game is for you not to play. I'm gonna keep. Okay, why does the corner exist? Why does the corner exist? Tekken doesn't have that. But say, for example, Mortal Kombat, they have something called the corner. And corner is when you really you want to put your opponent, and your opponent has to keep predicting your combo starters. Is it going to be a high or a low? You're basically playing 50-50s. And the whole point of you trying to put them in the corner and always having an emphasis in putting them in the corner is for you to not allow them to play the fucking game. That's why they had what is known as a break in Mortal Kombat to not only break combos, but also it allows you a little bit to get out of corners. I loved Scorpion because it allowed me to teleport away from the corner as soon as I can create just a little bit of frames. I can escape the corner and put the opponent in the corner. But it's very, yeah, I agree with EO there. Combat games, fighting games are all about winning. You want to win. And what's the best way to win? Not allow your opponent to play. Make it as unfair as possible. And players will cheese. They'll play the, okay, why aren't high-ranking fighting game characters always being the ones played? They're called meta. Why are only those being played? Because they increase your chances in winning. It's that simple. It's that simple. Because people want to win. And the moment you have motherfuckers that want to win and are compensating on something in their life for trying to win that hard on a fucking video game and sweat their balls on a video game because they ain't getting no bitches out there. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but yeah, they're playing to win, and them wanting to play to win means you shouldn't play at all. A good, this isn't a fighting game, but it really reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially present day Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh!, even though it's an interactive game, it's not an interactive game. People want to win turn one. They don't want to trade cards, which is the whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh! But players just want to win. That's just the way it is.
You have to work to get that hit in the first.
What I'm saying is this. The moment you say competitive play, players want to win. And when players want to win, they'll do anything they can to just achieve that, even if it comes at the cost of your enjoyment and you not playing the fucking game. And I agree with EO there 100%.
First place.
So in Tekken, my goal as a player is to punish you for your mistakes while also not allowing you to play the game.
But that in and of itself is a contradiction, because you punishing their mistake means that they made a decision. They had an interaction with you and they were wrong. In a way, they did play the game, but they made the wrong decision when they played, and thus they lost. The fact that they have the ability to make that decision, what if they made the right decision? Then they would have been alive and they would have been able to play the game much longer than you.
Yeah, that's why at the start of the game, you keep gauging and you wait for that mistake. And the moment they make that mistake, which they will, you catch them lacking and you punish them heavily. And it basically becomes a snowball effect where you don't allow them to play the game. That's what I've noticed. Say, for example, in Mortal Kombat. So you miss, they do the combo, they end up with you on the corner. Here you go, you're playing 50-50s now. You gotta keep countering, and it's very difficult to keep following and predicting the enemy movements. The opponent is not allowing you to play the damn game. I'm sorry, but that is very true. From my experience, that is a play style that I've encountered multiple times.
Right? It's not necessarily just because.
Remember that in Mortal Kombat, people tend to spam projectiles when the enemy is a low HP too. For example, yeah, you just keep spamming projectiles because you just want to win. You know how I know that? I used to do that. My favorite finisher was a grab. You just go for a grab. That's guaranteed 10% damage. Your opponent typically don't predict a grab. They're going to think you're going to do footsie shit. They're going to think you're going to go high and low, whatever. They're ducking you. They're this. You just go grab. Bye-bye. GG's.
Because you hit them, that the initial, like, you not letting them play the game happens. It's more that you hit them because they made a mistake, because they put themselves in a bad situation.
Yeah, but it comes back to the same thing. You just, yeah, you're not allowed. Okay, the moment they make the mistake, oh, they made that decision, they fucked up. So as punishment, you're not playing the game. That makes it different. No, the whole point is you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to play the game. That's what your opponent is trying to do. That's it. It's that simple. It ain't that crazy.
In gacha games, you literally just hit the CPU. Even at the higher level play, this first play that happens here,
this is checking.
it's all nothing but neutral and pokes. Just kind of like,
yeah, exactly. See what they're doing right now? They're sizing each other up. They're waiting for that opening. And you just got to create that opening.
Showed before. You see, like, it's these two guys like vying.
Yeah, so you'll notice their movements are unpunishable movements. They just do things that the frame recovery is safe, and they'll just keep doing this again and again So, you know, they just try to find a window where they can attack. And they're poking for damage, basically.
Ducking under normals, poking each other.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Boom.
for lows to force them to kind
Okay,
of
see, that was a heavy blow. That was a counter.
so they get hit by a mid.
Yep, here's a punishing. See, he tried to counter again. He went 1-2 to be safe, landed some damage. He went for a low here. And that's the trading. Now you're trading blows.
I'm keeping my example and my explanations very small because I want you to just look at how it's being played. You know, to the untrained eye, you might just think it's just two people.
Ooh.
Guys trying to fight for a particular range and also not trying to get hit by lows because they're very unreactable and also trying to get the other person to get hit by mids. There were no combos that happened, right?
Yeah.
No combos.
It's all trading.
Combo, right? He got launched. He got counter poked by a down forward 2. He dropped the combo near the end. You see, like, then he gets thrown here, side switch. But as you can see, it's both of these guys just fighting. He gets hit by a snake edge, a sweeping low.
Yeah, see, here it is. That's a kind of a combo. You see, the moment you see a character juggling in the air, getting hit, see that? See that? This is the player that's piloting this bitch is trying not to let the opponent play the game right now. Watch this.
Low. He gets a combo for it. Arslan
Boom.
Right?
Boom. See, animation. Look at him. Look at him. He's wall. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's you not playing the fucking game. Bitch. Literally. Who could have seen that one coming? Oh, wow. I'm not even a fighting game expert. I just played a bit of fighting games and have decent knowledge on them. That was so predictable. That was so easy to see. Bro was walling, like he was on fire. He was just kicking ass. He knew the opponent has to respond. He has to respond. He's going to make more mistakes. You just don't allow them to play the game. You just can't. You just can't at that point.
And he lost, right? The reason why that happened is because he got hit by the low and it forced him to make a decision, right? After he got hit by this low,
that's it.
Atif had to now think, okay, do I want to block low or do I want to stay blocking high? I don't want to get tagged again. In this case, he tried to throw.
Yeah.
He knew one of the options that Arslan Ash would do would be to power crush, which is an armor move. However, he sidestepped before doing this, and he avoided the grab, right? And
mistakes or no mistakes,
so
the title remains the same. It's like, oh, under the condition that the opponent makes a mistake, I don't care. It's like saying Yu-Gi-Oh, oh, they're not always gonna kill you turn 1 because they're not always gonna draw the cards that are gonna allow them to. But what are the odds of them doing that? Oh, it's like 80 to 70% of the time. Wow. I'm so looking forward to play this game.
There was interaction. What Ioku is saying here in this example is wrong.
Tekken is known for juggling. If you ever see anybody playing in a tournament or like a moderate player versus a casual, the casual will never touch the ground. The time they
That is true. That is true. Bro, when I played against certain high ranking players on Mortal Kombat, like, bro, you can touch the ground, but you're typically like the moment you get up, here you go for another ride on the sky.
They touch the ground, they get picked right back up into the air, and then you'll see like the big old KO screen or whatever, and you're done.
So a casual will get juggled over and over and lose versus a moderate level player, right? But the difference is that it's still a human being on the other end as opposed to a CPU, right? A human being on the other end is just lacking the knowledge to be able to handle those things. Whereas a CPU will never be able to gain that knowledge. It's either it's going to try to read your inputs or it's just going to die, which is a very different, it's a very different environment. The point is getting the hit, right? He's trying to explain how the hit occurs to make the other person not play. The CPU is already it's not a thing. Like, it's not a human.
Yeah.
So fighting games have predominantly had ways to dominate your opponent so that they can't play the game. Now,
okay, so what? Okay, again, we go back to the point of EO. All is EO saying is, bro, this is some cool shit you can use. Here you go. Use them if you want. I think they're pretty cool. I think the game can be played way better like this. That's it. That's my opinion. Do with it as you please. Again, the phrasing was bad, and here we are. And that's it. But the spirit of it all was good.
Using this in Zenless,
Yo, what up, Rudra? How you been, kiddo?
The same mentality applies, and I could even use this in Wuthering. In fact, I did use it in Wuthering, and the same thing that you're asking me now is pretty much what the community said, which isn't inherently a bad thing. It's more so just it's a different mentality, right? In Wuthering, I can also juggle the enemies, the NPCs, the mini elites, whatever, and then have them off the ground. Now, there are advantages to this in a PvE game, meaning that if I don't have to worry about my enemy, my opponent, acting because they're stuck in the air, I don't take damage, which means I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And my goal is, as
Yeah.
whoever I am, fighting game player or not, is to find a way to make them in that state for as long as possible. Now,
Yes.
casual players don't have to do that, right? Like, you can just play the game however you want, and if you get it clear, you get it clear. But I think
Yeah.
that's why having things that aren't told to you in the game is important, because now it allows me, or anyone that wants to be like me, or is like me, that just kind of wants to explore and dig for stuff, what's a reason for me to keep playing this game?
But EO is the type of player to look for things, right? To dig for
Okay,
things.
fair
try
enough.
To find cool things. But he also said previously that casuals can just play the game, and if they get the clear, they
He
get
unironically gave us new terms. Chat, I have a hot take. Was this not the best drama of all time? Because I feel like the community got out with so much new fun things to do. It's like back in the Tao drama. We came out with Oil Up. We come out with the homie. That's what she did to the homie. And now we have negative edging and Kara canceling. Got me acting up. That's true. The same photo. Before you call me Ratcher. Or I feel like each drama gives us new toys to play with, and that's just fun.
clear. The thing about digging for things in a game like Zenless or like Wuwa is that the stuff you're digging for, while it's cool and it's stuff that you can do, it has like very little place. There's not really much of a reason to do it because there's no optimization involved. You're losing damage, or worse, you are not able to actually clear what you want to do immediately. And in certain cases, certain bosses are not able to be affected by what you're doing. It's just in general, it's not as optimal as it would be in like a fighting game where
Yeah, absolutely. But you can do it though. That's all EO is saying. It's like you can do it. You can explore, do it, and that's what EO cares about. That's fair. That's fair. He's that type of player, and Wuwa allows him to do that. Fair.
some of the tech that you would do would be meaningful versus an opponent who may not have the knowledge for it, or in certain cases is applicable where you're trying to do a
Yeah,
mix.
absolutely. If we're talking effectiveness of the thing, oh yeah, absolutely. If I'm gonna have to choose between learning a skill set in a competitive PvP fighting game against a PvE gacha game that's intended to be casual, if we're gonna talk about what's the smart place to invest your effort in, obviously we're gonna pick the PvP competitive game. Duh. But if I don't give a flying fuck about a PvP fighting game, I can invest that effort in a PvE casual game where I can just sit all day, do all that if I want to and I choose to. Ain't that deep.
So you don't really need to do a Kara cancel for anything like that to extend range of any.
I'm about a Kara cancel on this shit, chat. I guess Eo got self-defense and upset because all he did was to share cool shit for fun. And all the reaction, he was that useless, I don't care. No, he said like, he did that in the ego way though. That's not it.
Anything.
But is it practical to do so? Of course it's not, Jay. But you can. You can. You can. All we're saying is it can add like a little extra damage, a little percentage in damage. But that's it. You can do it. It's a little flashy shit. You can, okay, look. You can wear a watch, right? A watch. No one needs to wear a watch anymore. We all have the time on our phones, okay? You don't need to wear a watch to impress a lady. But you can, it can help you. It's not gonna, it's not getting them panties off immediately, but it's a little thing that can help you. That's it. That's it. Like it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Like it's just a little something that can help you. That's it. That's it. My notes, chat. My notes. My notes. It's like, it's that simple. Yes, they're useless on paper. Yes, they don't matter, but they can help you. She could be like, I like that bling you're rocking, boy. Hey, why don't you take a mama for a drink? You never know. You never know.
Buttons over and over again, and you know you're going to do the damage that you need to beat the boss regardless, right? That's really what people are going to care about.
Daddy's got money. Why do motherfuckers wear fake bling? Why do motherfuckers wear fake bling? They wear fake bling because they can attract hoes that are attracted to that bling, and they're like, hey, he got bling. It means he, you know, I should probably be hanging out with him. You know? It increases his chances. It doesn't matter. We all know it's ultimately personality that gets a lady on the bed, but that bling can start that attraction. It's that simple. So just because something is, what I'm saying is this, just because something is extra doesn't mean it's completely useless and should just be dismissed. Because if it was the case, watches would not be sold anymore because we all have time in our damn phones.
And the audience that you are explaining this stuff to doesn't care. That's the problem.
That is true. Only a minority of players are gonna care about this. 1,000,000%.
They don't really care about that stuff.
But this doesn't mean that players like EO should stop doing what they're doing, because there will always be that minority that care about this, and that minority that care about this should have a home where they can learn this and comprehend this and have someone do the homework for them where they can sit and practice. I feel like that's very important in any game that has depth. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Even if something as stupid as Genshin had that.
Stuff isn't going to really matter in the grand scheme of things.
That's in Zenless Zone Zero.
Okay, I have a better example, Chad. You guys will hate me for this, but we all know it's true. A girl can show cleavage. Now, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to, but we all know it increases the odds of guys hitting on her. Okay? She doesn't have to, but the chances of bro going, damn, girl, I didn't know you had those. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And we are back to tits. Hey, of course we gotta talk about tits. It does not, but okay. Wait. So you telling me showing cleavage doesn't impact you? It doesn't get you more people looking? You're so full of shit. I guess you just don't care about those people looking, or you don't see them looking. I guess they sneaky. Oh, people are looking. I don't give a shit. Guys are looking. Guys are looking. As a red-blooded male, I can confirm to you, guys are looking. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm sorry. Sorry to burst your bubble, ma'am. If you show cleavage, they're looking. They'll sneak a peek. They'll sneak a peek. They're not gonna go, but they'll definitely be like, and just turn around like, oh, I don't know. I think the trees look good today.
So it's just more so wording. The one that I always mention is
So Nekomata has it's two or three moves that she has now, but they're all linked together. So they don't tell you how to get to these moves, but there's ways that you can kind of like cheat it so that you get to the move anyway. So
Okay.
there's the hold attack, which is where she kind of just dashes through you. That's important because it repositions you and it puts you behind the enemy so that you get the like 36% extra damage and the physical shred.
These are the faces of filthy casuals. see what you've just seen right now. These are filthy casuals. It's a reach. How is it a reach, Jay? How am I reaching? Bakara canceling is not attractive for players to do in wuwa. It's way different with cleavage. How am I reaching? Why? It's extra. It's extra. It doesn't matter, but it helps. It helps you, do the things you want to do. Now, how is that a reach? I don't know. Okay, if Changli's tits were all covered, would they be as attractive if they were showing as they are showing skin? Sorry, man, but it doesn't help. So you're telling us that showing a little bit of cleavage doesn't help? Is that what you're saying, Jay? Is that what you're saying? In my experience, there isn't a car cancel in wuwa. It is more like animation canceling. Yeah, it's animation canceling. I think that's the Kara cancel they're talking about, which I think is called, okay, chat, animation cancel. Is that Kara canceling? Because Kara canceling is animation canceling, I think. I'm talking about Gian's Kara canceling and not cleavage. Oh, okay, so see, I didn't get you there. So are you talking about what the guy was saying? A type of animation canceling is Kara canceling. Okay.
That's important because it repositions you and it puts you behind the enemy so that you get the like 36% extra damage and the physical shred, whatever it is that you get from the back attack. So then you have the 4th or 5th ender to her basic attack, and you can choose like how you want to do it, right? You can either stop on 4, stop on 5. Both of them still do the dash.
Ah, filthy casuals. These casuals, man. Can't get ahead in this community with these casuals, man. Look at this man, bro. We appreciate you, Cushball. We do. We really do, bro.
dash through thing. When you do the dash through thing, now there's a buff where it's a 33% chance that she'll keep repeating.
Look at this casual, man. Look at this bold ass casual, man. And these white bald men, bro, they ain't letting the man get ahead.
The pattern. And so 33% seems like pretty low, but in an action game, 33% is basically 100% until I hit it. Or, yeah, it's like
Wait, what? What the fuck?
repeating the pattern. And so 33% seems like pretty low, but in an action game, 33% is basically 100%
Wait, 33%? Okay, wait. What did he say?
physical shred, whatever it is that you get from the back attack. So then you have the 4th or 5th ender to her basic attack. And you can choose like how you want to do it, right? You can either stop on 4, stop on 5. Both of them still do the dash through thing. When you do the dash through thing, now there's a buff where it's a 33% chance that she'll keep repeating the pattern. And so
Oh, so it's a 33% chance to repeat the pattern. Yeah, that is, I mean, it's a good chance. It's a decent chance.
33% seems like pretty low, but in an action game, 33% is basically 100% until I hit it. Or, yeah, it's like, yeah, right.
Look at how
Okay, okay. Pokey, I understand what Pokey was trying to do here, but considering EO's reputation, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like that was a little unnecessary. I mean, it's funny. It is. It is accurate. Look, man, it is accurate for us, you know, casuals. Yeah, of course it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get so much pussy out of this one for sure. But considering EO, I don't know, I would refrain from doing that, bro.
the reaction is with everybody else that just heard all of that. This guy doesn't really care. This guy's joking around, and you know, Tectone is just like, oh, yeah, it's huge. Like, yeah, it's all the stat buffs and stuff that people do understand. The thing that he's gonna explain that no one's really gonna care about is the fact that you can plink this attack that he's talking about.
Plink.
So when you keep doing it, what ends
These words and stuff. What the fuck is plinking?
up happening? One of the complaints that some of the theory crafters had about Nekomata during CBT 2 and 3 was that if enemies are spread out,
She can't play the game. Now they found a way to mitigate that. I mean, if that wasn't a problem then, it just came down to like skill issue, but now there's no more skill issue, right? It's literally just keep hitting the dash. She has the dash tech, which is basically a full screen dash. She's the only character in the game that has it. If an enemy is here and she's over here, there's a certain input they can do,
it's called plinking.
which is just like you hit the input like 1, 2 immediately after the other, and she will go from point A to point B. Wherever the enemy is, she just zips towards them. And you can do this. Now you can do it in the combo and outside of the combo without a dash attack.
What he's talking about with this technique, it's not really something that you would do in
Imagine Pokey, a connoisseur in gacha games, not knowing what the fuck is being said. So where did I'm gonna call Mr. Pokey out on this one. Where the fuck did all those a million speed relics go, dude? You can't do this shit. You can still win though. But you can't do this shit though. So okay, so who's more base, chat? A guy that understands theory crafting the best and you know has the best relics and stuff, or a guy that can do plinking? What the fuck is even that? It sounds like, I don't know.
like Zenless because it's not necessary. Plinking, it was mostly used in like Street Fighter 4 because there were certain techniques or there were certain attacks.
Okay, let's see what plinking
in one
is.
frame. That's 1/60th of a second. And the game had like a weird bug where if you pressed the stronger version of a normal, it would input that normal twice if you hit it immediately after the weakest version of the attack. Street Fighter 4, you have Ryu. He could do crouching medium punch, sweep. That was a combo, but it was a very
Am I the only one who sees a problem with this right here? Is it just me? Is it just me? Why is a man crouching down looking up at another man? What are we doing over here? I would go with just fuck already. That would be me.
very tight link. It's not easy to do. It's like 1 frame, 2 frames. It's very small. So here you see the person press crouching medium punch, right?
Yo, what up, Pedro?
Whereas here, he presses crouching medium punch, but he also presses light punch as well. So he just literally hits crouching medium punch and light punch like next to each other. You'll see it in his inputs. See? He pressed medium first and then light. See that? So he pressed it immediately. And as a result, he can do things like this.
Okay.
This is important because this is an actual combo that Ryu can do that links into sweep. Whereas that's not really something you need to do in Zenless. Another way of plinking, by the way, another good example is with Guilty Gear, Exard. So you'll see like Chip, he can super jump and he'll fly across the screen. But if you plink Faultless Defense, he'll stop short and not flag. You
Okay.
see that, right?
So it's a form of animation canceling. Is that it? Minus? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
That's why plinking is important in fighting games.
So why the fuck are we have Kara canceling, plinking? Just call them animation cancel. All these words and stuff. Like, why are y'all acting so fancy? It kind of, yeah, just call it animation cancel. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Here in ZZZ, here's the issue. He's saying you can do this. I don't have to plink for this, by the way. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not plinking this. The window to do this is so large, it might as well not even be considered plinking.
Okay.
You're not really plinking, you're just tapping it. You're just tapping each button one after the other.
Okay.
It's not the same as like Street Fighter 4 or like Guilty Gear, where it had to be done immediately. There's a reason why plinking is more useful on things like an arcade stick. It's not frame perfect. It's not like there's like strict timing. You have a large window to be able to do a lot of these things. So you don't need to plink in order to actually perform what he's talking about. I will tell you, right? Like when you explain this stuff to an audience like this, they're not going to understand it. And what's worse is that because you're not using the term correctly, they're going to do it and they're going to think it's mad hard when it's actually not. Or worse, they're just not even going to do it at all.
Okay. I feel like we're in a guide video for a second, but like,
Yo, that's a fob W. That is very accurate. That is very accurate. I forgot, bro caught me. Like he fucked up my train of thought.
so okay. Before, well, one quick thing. Ellen actually has an instant teleport thing as well on her basic 3. It's actually kind of really good with her spinning kick. She can actually teleport to another mob. So like, that's there too. But like,
it's funny he mentions that because guess what? You just mash. I'm serious. It's just pressing square. So like, you see, that's her normal attack, right?
Yeah.
When she has the ice charge up, you see how she switches sides and then it sucks enemies back in? That's what that other guy was talking about. And all I did for that was mash square after I already had the ice charged up. And that's the point. A lot of the tech that you find in gacha games is not really necessary.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not necessary at all. You don't need to do it.
so my thing with Wuthering
But we always welcome its existence. Again.
and ZZZ both having these like hidden mechanics and just juggling stuff it's so useless outside of content that actually is like meaningful. Like you can't juggle bosses. You can't.
You see how the VTuber is just shaking on the bottom, by the way? He's like, yeah.
None of these trash mobs in ZZZ are really gonna be like they're killing. And the thing with Wuthering too, even if they introduced a mob, you could juggle that was a boss, right? The issue with that is whenever I watch these people doing these juggle combos, they are not min-maxing their intro concerto skills and maxing their energy. So their intro skills are on fucking 50-year cooldown. They're never breaking the break bar at all. They're not doing anything, and their damage is pretty ass. So like it's cool, but like it's pointless.
Yeah,
so
if I could play devil's advocate,
So what this guy is saying is basically what I've been saying, is that while it's cool to do these things, on a standpoint of actually being like able to clear the content, you don't need to do it. And so
the problem with EO was that instead of saying, here are some cool texts you can use, he kept pushing that you need to use them, otherwise you're playing it wrong. Basically, EO is trying to shift the conversation and shift the focus of gacha gamers to a place where it is his forte, which is very smart to do. The problem was, again, the delivery. The way he delivered it, and that's what he said when he talked to Smack and Vulcan. I guess they all agreed that the delivery was ultimately the problem in what happened with this drama. EO is just one wine connoisseur who is walking up to us casual soda enjoyers talking about the right pouring and swinging. That is very true. I don't like my shit like that.
Ultimately, this just goes into, well, I just want to be cool. So I just want to do this stuff. That's really what I want to do. But the issue is that what Ioku is doing is he's making these videos and talking about it, but it comes across as that to a lot of people that watch his videos. That like,
again, delivery.
You kind of have to do it. Or,
delivery.
You know, you need to do this in order to actually, clear this and whatnot. And I believe later in this Gacha Cast Unedited, he does say, like, you can't just button mash your way through the end game content. And, that is true, but you also don't need to do the tech either that he's explaining. And to be quite honest with you, it really just boils down to just having really good stats. And that's really mostly what Gacha is about.
Yeah, you still kind of have to have basic understanding on how to play the fucking game, though. I mean, you still gotta know how to play. Because I've seen some players that have good stats and good everything in their Genshin accounts, and they still couldn't clear. And in fucking Genshin, like that's even worse than wuwa. Which is again, you still need that good understanding, and you gotta understand that when we say casual players in a gacha game, they're very casual with a side of casual. They're extra casual. So always keep that in your mind.
Is having really good stats and maybe a little bit of deliberate button press.
What I'm trying to say is what you think is like common understanding and it's easy to understand, like how can a player not know this? They really don't know that, and they fail to do what they do. It's like MTS talked about this, how to maximize your damage. A lot of players didn't know they could equip artifacts. You know who one of those players were? My ass. Because I was new to these types of games.
But not necessarily something advanced as fighting games would need, which is what separates the two.
I guess it's more about team synergy and rotation. Yeah, and you would think that players understand that, but they really don't. I can be an EO2. In my case, not FGS, but chess.
Just because it happened to me when I said this exact same thing 2 days ago on Twitter. Wuthering Waves has the most advanced combat out of any gacha game ever in all of existence in life. And it takes critical skill to be able to fight bosses. And if you cannot negative edge and
okay.
and juggle the enemy, then you cannot beat the boss. And you need to know how to do these things in order to play Jinshi and get her max damage. Not from me, from the community.
He speaks about negative edge, right? Let's talk about negative edge. People seem to joke about negative edge like, oh, I'm gonna negative edge all over Modernia. Negative edge, whenever you press a button, right? If you release the button, it also counts as the move. The Ryu player, he already pressed heavy punch, right? So he's holding heavy punch down. When he does quarter circle forward and releases the heavy punch, the fireball will still come out. This is called negative edge. Even though a heavy punch was not pressed, the release of the button counts as a press. This type of stuff, right, is in fighting games for a reason. Some moves you need to negative edge in order to even do. So like, for instance, the Balrog example with turnaround punch, this move is only possible if you release a button input. See, he pressed heavy, he's holding down light punch, medium punch. When he releases them, he gets turnaround punch.
Okay.
That move can only be done through negative edging.
Okay.
I don't know what moves Ioku's talking about that you need to negative edge in order to play wuwa, but to be quite honest with you, I don't think it's necessary to do that.
I just wanted to play.
Yeah, that's kind of a flex. I mean, am I crazy? I think that was just a flex. I mean, and again, it falls back to what I was saying previously, where EO is trying to shift the conversation to a place where it is definitely his forte, which again is smart. It's just that it's not working, unfortunately.
Combat to be able to do this stuff. It just looks cool, and we like to see it because it looks cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
One thing.
Sorry,
wait, go.
you go.
One thing I just wanted to say really quickly is like, this all sounds cool, but like when you just need to basic attack and hit E and then you can beat the game, like there's no need to find any of this stuff out, at least for me. So like this all sounds cool that this is in the game, but like I haven't found the need to do any of this.
Even like getting into the hollow like hard modes and stuff, like you still don't need to do all that. Yeah, it's cool to do, but you don't have to. You can just spam left click and E the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you can spam left click and E in the harder content and still clear at whatever we're considering the clear. So
Sure. Yeah. So he's saying like, you can't spam left click and E to clear the content. Yes. But you also don't need to do all the fighting game stuff you're mentioning to clear
content. Absolutely. Absolutely.
To be quite honest with you, I think the main issue is that no one is seeing the main point. Ioku just wants to do this shit because he thinks it's cool. These guys see him upload those guides and they go, do I have to do this in order to actually beat the game?
No.
No. So why are you making it difficult? And so everyone is questioning that, right? On the other hand,
it's not that difficult. It's just new terms that they're not familiar with, that there's so much math and these weird 1-4 this. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what this is. And when someone doesn't know what something is, they keep scratching their head and they're discouraged from the thing, if that makes any sense.
I don't believe you need to do all that stuff, so you don't need to do it. He thinks that it's cool. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. At the same time, you don't need to do it in order to clear the game. And so there should be no reason to like frame it as like a guide in order to like maximize anything, especially if your content, right, is unlock new combos. It changes, combat changes everything, right? Like a lot of these videos that are on EO's channel are framed as like guides in order to actually like do things. It's not that the stuff is bad. It's just, it's not something that is going to like make it easier to clear content or make it easier to get through like a lot of the gotcha stuff, right?
Okay, you already said that multiple times. We get it. And again, we've already had that rebuttal. It's like, it's not a big deal. Keep it up.
That's really what most people in...
Actually, this reminds me, he removed the intro that got me like really intrigued in watching this. He removed the intro because I remember there was an intro that he said, "We don't claim this guy." Like, we don't claim this guy. Am I crazy? Have any of you guys watched this video before me? Because when I opened it, the first thing that was like, there's a later, it's like, black and white, like you show a moment that's kind of big later. And he said like, "We don't claim him. We don't claim him." Yep, he did. Because I remember that. I'm like, that kind of fucked with my head. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean we don't claim him? It's like you're putting his capabilities into question. So that's why I was like, okay, we have to address this. But I think he removed it since he edited it out.
Things. And so I want to go into like this final video where he talks about like Kara canceling, right?
Is called Kara canceling. This is a term in fighting games which basically means you are canceling the animation of something into something else. Now I know that
the ability to quickly cancel a move into another move before the first move completes its startup. This is a more definite, like descriptive definition than what he explained. Normally, in order to cancel a move, you have to make contact with your opponent. But Kara cancel bypasses this restriction, and it cancels immediately before you even see the move on the screen. These two things describe specifically what a Kara cancel is, because there's a difference between Kara canceling and whiff canceling. So let's go to Kara canceling in the actual dictionary, right? And whiff cancel. Canceling a move during its active frames like a normal, except your move whiffed rather than...
Again, can't we just call them animation canceling, for fuck's sake? For fuck's sake, what's with this try-hard dumb shit? It's the same shit. Oh, whiff canceling, it's when it's in the middle of a move. Kara canceling, it's before the move happens. Plinking is when... Shut up. They're animation cancels. Keep it moving.
Hitting or being blocked by the opponent, right? This is not Kara canceling, right? Kara canceling is when the move that you're canceling into the move before it reaches its active frame, so you don't even see the move at all. That is the key difference between a Kara cancel and a whiff cancel. I want you to see...
They're both animation cancels. There is no difference. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. They're animation cancels. Okay, maybe it matters in terms of frames and shit, where you gotta Kara cancel it instead of whiff cancel it, because if you whiff cancel it, you can get punished for that. So you gotta like Kara cancel it. But it's like, bro, allow us to easily understand this shit. Like, goddamn.
He does in this like guide.
Normally what we do, right? If you hold his attack, he will launch the character. Now, if you're familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom, in particular 3, Marvel vs. Capcom has a universal launcher. This is gonna be called like your down heavy, right? That launches.
Your universal launcher in Marvel 3 is usually it's just S. You don't even have to hit down S.
Ass? What? You launched them with your ass? Okay, that's a bad joke.
If you hold the heavy attack, just like in Wuthering Waves, you will jump up in the air with them. If I don't hold heavy attack, he just does this, right? He just does a slam down. Now I'm going to show you what's actually happening.
Oh, okay.
You saw how many times I can't...
So that's not a Kara cancel. That is a whiff cancel. He's canceling the launcher, right, into this move on hit. And then he's whiff canceling this.
It's an animation cancel. Like, bros, can we not? Please, for fuck's sake. It does not matter because these moves need to be learned by other players. That's why they named them specifically. Okay, so it does matter because these moves needs to be learned by other players. That's why they named them specifically. What I'm saying is, unless it matters, as in like, it enables you to do the combo itself, it's just an animation cancel. But if you can get punished for those, or like it has to be that one type of canceling, or you just can't do the move, sure, then you need to separate them. But if there's no need to, it's just an animation cancel. From my understanding in fighting games, as you know, as modest as it is, I've heard of animation cancels. I've never heard of this. Kara cancel, whiff cancel, pinking, I don't know what the fuck that was. I've never heard of these terms, and ultimately, they never really mattered when I used to play fighting games. I wasn't that tryhard, but I still was competitive enough. But still, but you didn't say the same, calling it all animation canceling when EO called it Kara canceling. I'm saying it does matter to the FGC. That's why they named them, but it doesn't matter to the gacha community. Okay, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. Do these matter? So, do they allow you to counter moves or enable certain moves because you did whiff cancel instead of Kara cancel, or Kara cancel instead of whiff cancel, or plinking? Does it enable this form of gameplay? Does it allow this form of interactability in the game? That's my question. Yes, yes. Okay, so it matters. So in high levels of play, if you use a whiff cancel instead of Kara cancel, someone will punish your ass if you use the one prior. Is that it? That's exactly my point. Okay.
Right? Into the launcher again. So the million stabs, that's whiffing. And then he's going into the launcher again. You see that? So that's what he's doing. He doesn't even have the actual like term.
Which again, I guess this goes against EO, if anything. Then I guess my original point goes against EO because in a gacha game, it's all animation cancel. You don't have to call it Kara canceling or anything. So why is EO calling it Kara canceling? It's like just or plinking or whatever. Just call it animation cancel. Okay.
Right. The million stab move would not even come out. You wouldn't see it. There would be no animation, not unless you really slowed it down frame by frame. Here's a good example of what a Kara cancel looks like. See how that DP whiffs? See how that DP connects? Why? He does sweep.
Oh.
3 frames. The sweep is out.
He animation cancel it, and then he goes with a Shoryuken.
He cancels it into DP.
Okay, got it.
Ken's crouching heavy kick, it moves Ken forward slightly, and then the second Shoryuken gets launched from the new position.
Okay, get it.
To hit. In normal gameplay, you're not gonna see that kick. It's like you didn't even see it at all.
Yeah, true.
Because the move wasn't even active. It didn't even come out on startup. A whiff cancel, on hit, it goes into the full rekka. On whiff, it goes into the full rekka. It doesn't matter. See that? See how he's also whiff canceling the jab in the drive rush into the forward dash, the green dash? That's what a whiff cancel is. The move has to already be out, already be attacking for it to be allowed to whiff cancel again.
Okay.
That's a key difference between Kara canceling and whiff
Yeah,
canceling.
we get it.
This doesn't matter in a gacha game.
Absolutely. So call it animation canceling. EO.
There's no opponent that's going to capitalize off of you whiffing an attack. You're just solely doing this because you want to keep looping the attack over and over. You don't get like huge damage. You don't get like anything crazy. You could get more than this because obviously this can like use this for other characters or maybe other techniques that this character has, but it's not. You don't need to do it. It doesn't even do that much damage. The way he was talking about it, it's not a Kara cancel. It's a whiff cancel. So he's not even using the terminology correctly. And this in and of itself, all these like issues.
All these words and stuff.
Issues that are being brought up is exactly why, like, I think the gacha community are just like poking and making fun of it. Like, oh, I negative edged all over myself, or like, oh man,
that shit is funny. I don't give a fuck. Yo, chat, type 1 if you think negative edging and stuff like these new jokes we got after this this drama is funny. Type 2 if you're like, yeah, no, that shit is weird as fuck. I don't know about y'all, but that shit is funny. I Kara canceled my edging. Hey, chat, I think we're all in agreement, bro. I mean, that shit is hilarious. I don't know.
I want punishing hard combat. We got juggling, etc. Like, people are like making fun of fighting game terms, and they don't realize that the fighting game terms are what defined a lot of these games back in the 90s. It defined a lot of the higher level tactics that we
What is he doing?
had to do to fight other players. So that way we got an edge up on them. So that way we had the knowledge.
No. You got an edge up on him? Are you negative edging on the man? Oh no, what the? Nah, bro, don't do that. Come on now. Are you gonna Kara cancel on the man? No, bro, what is he trying to say here? What is he trying to say? Don't do that. It's fun. It's funny. That's it. We're not making fun of fighting gamers. The only way we make fun of competitive fighting gamers is when you guys have all that skill and you talk all that shit, but you ain't good in no pussy. That's the only space and only way you can make fun of a fighting game player. But beyond that, it's like it's cool, dude. We respect you guys. Like, hey, I feel like everybody played a fighting game once in their life, and they're good. They're good.
Over our opponent, right? For us to be able to do certain setups or certain combos or certain or set up certain situations that our opponent would have to think about later on.
Yeah.
To be optimal, right? These things were important in fighting games. In gacha games, they're not really as important as.
Bro, it even applies to fucking strategic games. It's like chess. Something like Hearthstone, Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like you need not modern Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, old school Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like you need a certain build-up. It's like you keep gathering the right cards to put them chess. Like you place your pawns correctly so that you can, like, your opponent doesn't even know what hit him when he finally realizes what the fuck you were doing all that time. You know, it's not limited to just fighting games, and it's a respectable thing. But you're not going to take away negative engine and kara canceling as funny things to say from us, bro. I don't know what you're trying to say, but we're not shaming fighting game players. We're just laughing, bro. We just think it's funny, and it is what it is.
It's just taking my wallet, right? Going into my wallet, and then just taking my card and swiping the anime titty, you know? Like, just doing that. You don't really need to do any of the advanced stuff because most regular people that play gacha games or normies that play these games and don't want to sweat their ball sack off for 80 hours to try to like fight a person in a fucking esports event and have to play competitively and fly across the world and all that shit. These guys are not doing that. They're literally just trying to play, clear the content, have the best loadout, be fucking brain dead with their waifu and be like, yo, I love Ellen Joe. Like that's really all they're doing. Yeah, somebody that.
No, we're busy getting bitches. That's what we're doing. We're busy getting bitches. I'll speak for myself. I'll speak for a lot of people I've met in this community. We're busy getting bitches. Oops. You heard wrong, boy. You heard wrong. We have a lot of free time. Guess what we be doing? This is our resinless behavior, chat. This is what we be doing. When we out, when you playing for 80 hours, this is what I be doing. This is what I'm on. This is what's happening when you playing and sweating your balls off in front of a fighting game. This is what I be on, man. This is what I be on. This, bruh. This. Get that pumping. What we be on, man. It's what we be on. And I haven't been in the gym in forever, bruh. Bruh. Want to talk smack on us? Huh? You just jealous because Ellen Joe sucks my dick after I'm done with the day. Man.
Has played fighting games for years. You know, having a gacha community basically just like shit all over my terms because they just don't understand them is one thing.
We're not shitting on your terms. We're just having fun with your terms, okay? We mean no disrespect.
But it's another thing when the guy that's talking about these terms aren't even using it correctly, and then they're also using it in a space that no one's really going to appreciate it or really look at it for.
Well, EO was trying to push it. It just was not well received. It's not that deep.
Because they don't.
It's like, okay, I'm trying to sell you something. I failed to sell you that something. It's okay. Dust yourself off and move on.
Need it, right? Like most people are just going to look at this and be like, Ellen Joe, I got to max her out.
I don't know about you, but that picture, I'm not maxing shit out. She can max me out.
Right? Like, that's all they really care about, you know? And you gotta respect it. Ioku probably, again, like I said before, just wanted to have cool combos. He just wanted to have cool things to do. That's it. But I feel like framing them with guides and stuff like that, it's gonna come across as, oh, you need to do this stuff in order to clear the content when you don't. And it sucks because it's like, this guy really probably just wanted to have fun just fighting this stuff. It's not really something that a lot of the gacha heads are really gonna care about. So it doesn't really matter I feel like both sides don't really care about the fighting game aspects of it, but they're not voicing it properly or using the definitions properly. And the other side definitely doesn't give a shit. Nobody's really trying to be flashy in gacha games anyway.
I am. I don't know about you guys. Well, maybe not that flashy, but I like to finish my combos with style, stuff like that. Have that nice synergy. I don't know. It feels satisfying. I don't know, man. It's a little flashy. I thought this was going to be a drama video. I agree with most points. You mean what he's saying? Hey, that's you, man. But I see where he's coming from, but he's literally becoming the very thing he's complaining about, where you don't want to be downplayed because of the gacha community saying all this shit, that negative vision, car canceling, all that. But you're doing the same shit, going after the gacha community, going, oh, they're just these guys, these normies. They just want their waifus and swipe for their waifus. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut up. The fuck are you even talking about? Sit down, little bro. Sit the fuck down. I need you to calm the fuck down. You lost yourself in the sauce. And chill. But it is true. It kind of is, but still, not all of us are. He's addressing Io. No, at some point he talked about the community. I'm a gacha gamer for 10 years, and it is true. Okay, Chad, you gotta understand something. Gacha games have their down bad community, which is very vocal and very present. What are they called? Coomer. Thank you, Scar. Thank you. Coomers. We have Coomers. We obviously have Coomers. There's Gooner, sure. Gooner, yeah. Appreciate your cousin. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for everybody saying it. I really appreciate you guiding grandpa as always. I really do. We have Coomers, we have Gooners. Those are always going to be present in the gacha community. But, that's not everybody. And when you do that, I'm sorry, but you wake up the sleeping giant. You ain't gonna like that. Because I could say the same shit about you. Look at you with your cute little combos. Oh no, we're getting so much pussy with your combos and you sweating your balls off in a chair all day when you haven't seen the sun in 5 days. Oh no. Oh shit. Man, bring your controller to the club. We fitting to party it all day with your combos, and the lady, we don't need to pop a bottle. We get on all the bitches with your controller just going, oh yeah, for sure. By the way, he has Modernia from Nikkei besides him, and he's calling us Coomers. That's a very good point. You telling us, oh, we're these Coomers, we're this, we're that. Look at your ass with a Nikkei in the background and a fucking pillow. Come on, bro. Come on. But, let me move my ass a little bit. You gotta appreciate the Blue Eyes White Dragon figurine. I take that one off his hands. You know what? Hey, you know what? This right here cancels all this. Okay, you gotta put some respect on the Blue Eyes White Dragon figurine. Put some respect on that, chat. You gotta do that.
That's why the games are mostly designed with all this flash when you mash one button. I mean, like, with enough mashing, I'm just gonna now get all these. I'm just gonna get all these special moves and shit, right? Like, the game is automatically built to be flashy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so that's why I like them.
To like install extra flash and mechanics and all this stuff, you don't need it. And the game wants you to either purchase things to get the stats of your character up, or, well, you know, grind it out and use the mechanics of the game in terms of what they just tell you.
That's Gacha 101.
To kind of just blow past bosses. Really and truthfully, if you're looking for like in-depth stuff, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, this is where you should go. Like this. You know, if you really want the tech. I bet some of y'all didn't even notice the speedrunners do this shit. Now watch this. When I do it, and I actually have to plink it too.
Here's a hot take. I don't need to do that shit in hard mode. I can do it in normal mode. I can enjoy the game, finish the story. It was fun. Bye-bye. Am I crazy for that, chat? Am I crazy? Yes, it's good to replay the game you like and challenging, and you feel like you earned all this skill and you want to test yourself. But the same can be applied to these games. Nah. Okay, go ahead. Cat Paul Sahib, go ahead. I'm listening. Why? Why not? Why not? Just play however you want. That is one of the most Giga Chad shit I've ever heard. Yes. Play however the fuck you want. Who gives a fuck? Where were you? Yo, I want some first-time chatters for our man Cat Paw here. I want some first-time chatters in the chat for our man Cat Paw. Bro is so based. Bro is so based. That is some base shit. Bro just came in with the sauce. And he just laid it on us, and we're like, hey, you know what? Bro is onto some shit. Hey, we appreciate you, Cat Paw.
I actually have to plink it like a fighting game. Rapid fire shotgun. I actually have to plink it. The timing is tight. It's not like on some fucking Zenless 30 frames bullshit. I actually have to fucking like plink this.
In short player style, absolutely.
You want to find tech? Just fucking play Devil May Cry, bro.
I want to get bitches.
That's all I gotta say about everything. I think EO should just chill. I think the gacha community should just chill.
I think you should chill.
Just stick to your own games.
And stick to your own games.
Stick to your own stuff.
Stick to your own stuff as well.
All right. When it comes to fighting games, y'all both are trash.
When it comes to gacha games, you are trash.
So it's all good.
So it's all good.
And yeah, I'm just gonna go back to playing Zenless and enjoying myself.
And I'm gonna go back to cracking my hog to Ellen Joe and enjoy myself.
Maybe playing another tournament or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe pull for Zuyan and crank to Zuyan next. I don't know.
But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you, bro. See you. I was joking, okay, Chad? I was joking. I'm just gonna play with the characters, and then I'm gonna go get me some pussy juices on my cock. That's what I'm gonna go do. Okay, we don't need that. You wanna know why? Because these gacha games make us good. They make if you do gacha games correctly, you can learn so much. All in all, I feel like this was a massive misunderstanding. You just okay, we're just having fun with the terms. It's not a big deal. We mean no offense. Okay, from someone from the gacha community, as some players at in the gacha community here with me, we mean no offense. We're just messing around. We're having fun at the expense of those terms. It's not a big deal. I don't know why you're trying to make it a big deal, because it's not. Okay, and if it is a big deal to you, maybe you should reconsider what is and what should be a big deal. Okay, that's just me though. That's just me though. As for EO, I do feel like, again, just bad packaging. And he's really shifting things to where he's strong and, again, smart, but it didn't work. It's okay. Dust yourself off. You keep it going. There could be a minority that are interested in those things. If they're not, they're not. Again, I agree with players not liking that shit, myself included. I feel like that's too much. It goes against what these games are about and how they're supposed to be played by the companies that designed them. And a lot of players can look at me and go, well, why would they have that in the first place? But it's just there for the very niche players that care about them. But ultimately, that's not the target demographic that these games are trying to do, if you understand what I'm saying. These games are casual and always will be casual. That's just how they are designed. That's how they are supposed to be used. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like, comment, subscribe. All right. We'll see you on the next one. See you.